And welcome to this edition, another playoff edition of the Coach Derwin Wright Sports Show. And Coach, huge win round one.
It was a great win for us. Just a great atmosphere. The kids played a great game, and I think it just felt good to get into the playoffs and then advance. And the kids were saying we just need to survive and advance, and we did. So I'm proud of them.
Well, it's win to stay in. We'll take a look at round two, plus we'll look back at last week's action right after this from the Union Bank.
For more than a century, Union Bank has been serving the people of Fentress County. Now, as we begin a new chapter in our history of service, we want to take this opportunity to reassure you that while our building may be new, we're still the same friendly people you have known for years. Union Bank, the same people, the same goals, and the same commitment to you. Union Bank, your locally owned hometown bank for more than a century, growing to meet your needs. Equal Housing Lender Member FDIC.
Back here with Coach Derwin Wright. And Coach, your boys came out, got out to a big early lead, but got a little bit of a scare in that third quarter.
Well, we had that lull, and we've done that a couple times. They gave up an onside kick and let them get down and cut it to a 7-point game, and then had a big completion on a fourth down to set up a score to get back ahead, and then we just took control of the game after that. But that was a period right there. The game could have went either way, and imagine if we didn't punch that one in with the quick whistle there right before half. That would have been a 21-21 game at that point. So, just guys just kept plugging and overcoming, just things that happened during the game.
Coach, I used the word the other night, composure. After that terrible call, I call it Willie Quick Whistle, blew the whistle and called the play dead that would have been a touchdown. Your boys come down with some great composure to punch that in as the clock ran out in that first half.
Well, that's what we said. There's nothing we can do about it now. It should have never happened, but it happened. And, the only thing we can do now is do everything we can to put some points on the board. And Landrick connected on a hot pass to Daedric Phillips at tight end, and we were able to go down and punch it in. It took us a couple tries. I think we scored at the 5-second mark, and basically as a horn went off. So, but that was the official came out and he said, "Well, I'm sure glad you scored right before half." I said, "Which time?" The whistle or the other one? He said the other one. He said because we knew we messed it up. We dropped the ball on that. And I said, yeah, I've had a lot of adverted whistles like that with the misdirection and all that, but never on a pass like that. I hadn't seen that. So
I have to admit that was a first for me too, and I've been in this a long time.
Yeah, me too.
Coach, now your boys, they in that second half came back after that fourth quarter and just dominated. I mean, they held their composure. They could have got down after that second score by the Eagles, but you were able to come back and they kept their composure and just romped through that fourth quarter.
Well, we've conditioned every Monday and Tuesday, and we got the game 8 or 9. And the boys were like, "Coach, we're going to condition all year." I said, "Yeah, because we want to go on. We're not finished at 10 games. We want to go on. We want to prepare ourselves." And they bought into that, and I think that's why in the fourth quarter we were the stronger team. We just kept on plugging away and put some points up in the fourth quarter because, a lot of teams will get to this point in the season and they'll stop conditioning and they'll do some things like that. But to me, it's you gotta pull back on as far as hitting and things like that, and you got to just work on technique. But you got to stay in shape, and our guys have bought into it and working hard. And when we run, they're running hard. So it showed up in the fourth quarter for us.
They say preparation during the off season is when you build champions.
I agree with that. I think it's 100%. I mean, you look at all your great programs, college, high school programs. They have tremendous strength programs and weight programs and off-season programs. So, I'm a believer of that myself.
Coach, how impressed were you with your secondary the other night? You got to be impressed. They come out a couple of interceptions and really played well.
Well, overall, especially early on, I was real proud of them. And we got in that lull in the third quarter, and all of a sudden we're back off 5 yards, and I'm like, why are you not up on pressing the guy? And he said, well, he's faster than me. I said, that's why you get up there and press him. you're going to stand back here at 5 yards and let him run by you. You can get up there and jam him and start, get a good jam on him and take a little bit of the timing away him and the quarterback. So we just got to keep working on that. But Coach Johnson, Coach Bowden, they've done a good job with those guys, and we just got to keep working it. And, early on we were doing some different things, and I think after the Smith County game, and it was one that was a heartbreaker to lose, but we learned a lot about our football team, and we made some changes, and it's really helped us.
Coach, there was one aspect had a little bit of trouble. It was the special teams the other night.
Oh, our kickoff coverage has been just terrible. I mean, I just put it the way it is. It's been terrible, and we've got to fix it. We're getting out of our lanes. We're running down and getting big gaps between me and the guy next to me. We've got a guy 20 yards in front of another guy, and it's been terrible. And we drilled it last week. We put a coach at the 30 yards from the kick and timed them and made them bust it to get through there. And I don't know what's going to fix it. We may start pooch kicking it or kicking it out of bounds every time.
You may have to start going for two on all. Well, you did hit all your extra points, but
hey, extra point team was great. Trevor Threed holding and Johan West kicking. They were perfect the other night. That team's coming on.
But Coach, your boys still able to shut them down. It was a good second half, especially that fourth quarter. How your guys came up, especially got the heat on the quarterback. It's hard to throw when you're laying on your back.
That was the key going into the game. I said that on Monday, that we had to get some shots on that quarterback because he was a good quarterback. He's a good football player and made the right reads. And most of the interceptions and the bad throws, error throws. We either had Cole Cooper, Ethan Probst, or I'm going brain dead here a minute. Dawson Threet and Josiah Headings. Those four guys were getting pressure on him, and Josiah, especially when we went into our 34 look, right there at the nose guard, he was beating 2 and 3 guys and getting pressure on him. And then Cole got a sack on him late. Cole had got a couple rushes and made him hurry. And again, Ethan Probst got a couple on him. Dawson Threet got a couple on him. So those guys really did their job up front. And we were holding Landrick Lefevue back. We felt like Landrick, we had to lock him on to that running back more and didn't blitz him. But we blitzed Cole a lot, Ethan, Josiah, and Dawson, and all of them got some pressure on him. So that was a big part of the game plan.
Coach, you won a couple of aspects of the game that's crucial. That's turnover ratio, and you also won the penalty ratio.
Huge at this time of year to win the turnover battle. It's huge anytime, but, as you get in each game, your opponent's going to be better and better teams. And, they're not there because they're not a good team. And it's crucial that you don't do anything to hurt yourself, just good, solid, fundamental football. And, when I watched the Sequatchie Red Bank game, I thought Sequatchie did a really good job in that phase of the game. They took care of the football and really had a chance to win that game.
Coach, what can you say about your boys? You got by pretty much unscathed again.
Well, we've got some sore things. Cole's got a sore knee. We've got a few bruises and bumps and stuff, and we're getting treatment on them. And hopefully we can get them to 90% by the time we get to Friday. But this point in the season, that's part of the game. And Cole, I said something with Landrick with his thumb, and Landrick Lefevue, he's a warrior. He's a tough kid. Cole Cooper is. And we got a bunch of them on this football team. And you don't get to this point. Dawson Threet's been playing with a sore foot. Heath Rexroad started the year, had shin splints. I mean, as bad as I've seen. Legs you would push on his front of his leg, and your thumb print would be there. You had so much fluid on them. And Ethan Probst is battled through a shoulder, and but it's not been something that it's been agging things. It's not severe injuries, and we've been lucky on that.
And a lot of that goes back to that preseason conditioning.
It does, and getting ready in the summer and getting ready in the winter, and probably in Heath's case, he was doing too much. He was training with us, and then he was going to these elite camps and stuff. But he got pretty bad shin splints. But he's at 100% right now, and we're hoping to get Cole back as close as we can. He's playing this tough football for us.
Coach, the one aspect that we mentioned earlier the other night, your receiving core. What a catch by Lathan Drake. A big one by Phillips says coming out of that tight end position. That was a huge. He just missed another one before that.
We missed on two throws that we missed one to Heath and another one to Daedric. And just a little bit of pressure and had Landrick rolling to his right. But the second one, the two completions were to his right. Just an incredible catch by Lathan Drake in between two defenders, went up. Shoestring sideline, got both feet in, just a tremendous catch. And then Daedric on a hot pass just bounced it out there, and Landrick put it right on him. And, we've got that aspect, and we've got to continually improve on that to get to where we really got to be this week, and hopefully, 0-0, and hopefully we can come out there 1-0 and look for the next week. But that's got to be a concentration this week. That everybody's crowding the box on us. They're bringing 10 up, and we've got to hit those passes when we get those opportunities.
We mentioned that the other night. We saw they were bringing up 10, 11 guys in the box, and you threw that little screen. I just said it'd be a great time for a little screen, and sure enough, you threw it.
You've been covering me so long, you read my mind, ain't you? And it was. They just kept bringing them up, and I thought, well, we've got to do something to slow this down, and. They executed the lineman and quarterback and back. They executed that little backside screen perfectly, got the downfield blocks, and, it was a big play for us.
Well, the Dragons win round one. Well, it's round two coming up this Friday, and you got to win to stay in. We'll look at Red Bank right after this.
For more than a century, Union Bank has been serving the people of Fentress County. Now, as we begin a new chapter in our history of service, we want to take this opportunity to reassure you that while our building may be new, we're still the same friendly people you have known for years. Union Bank, the same people, the same goals, and the same commitment to you. Union Bank, your locally owned hometown bank for more than a century, growing to meet your needs. Equal Housing Lender Member FDIC.
And back here on the Coach Derwin Wright Sports Show. Coach, this week you got the number 6 team in the state. You've got a team that's got a Mr. Football finalist in Red Bank. They're a team to be reckoned with.
Well, he's very athletic. He's 1,600 yards on the season, and they've got him and number 5. Do a lot of wildcat stuff. Direct snap to number 5 with number 2 in the backfield. Very, very, possess good speed. That those are two guys that we've got to do a good job on. I was telling our kids, I think it was 2006 that we first round we're going to Tyner, and Tyner just athletic speed and everything. And we went down there and everybody was picking them, beat us 34 points, and we walked out there with a 15-9 lead. And that's something, if we do what we're capable of doing, take care of the football, put those 10 and 11, 12 play drives together and eat the clock, and just play fundamental good football up front defensively, and we're not a hurry-up offense. It just evens the field for you. But we've got to do a good job tackling. Our secondary, again, has got to do a good job because as what Signal Mountain does, this team does a lot of the same stuff, and they'll spread you out to run it too. We scrimmaged Cookeville earlier in the year, and they run what I call a little sniffer. They put a little guy right over here offset behind your offensive tackle with twins on one side and split on the other side, and they motion him a lot. They do a lot of the same stuff. So, that gave us some good experience. Whitwell did the same kind of offense, a lot similar to what Smith County does. And so we've got some experience against this kind of offense. We just got to do a good job tackling. We got to make sure we're hitting our gaps and, not taking a side.
Coach, what you got to do to move the ball against them?
Well, again, we just got to I feel like that we can move the ball. I feel like that we can put some points up. We've got to have our guys up front to have another great night. They've got athletes up front. They slant a lot. So, I told Edward Stockton and Thomas Cooper, yesterday in film that they're going to have to really do a good job. These guys are going to be quick, and they're going to have to make those read steps and lock onto their guys and stay on them. But, I watched Sequatchie, and Sequatchie was able to run, quarterback sneak and what we call wham a lot of times in a power play and get positive yards off of it. And I feel like our offensive line is as good, if not better, than theirs. So I know our backs run really hard. And, like, again, Sequatchie, one of their best running backs, is out with a broken wrist. So, I feel like we can move the ball. We just got to make sure we're doing things right, no holds, no penalties, not things to stop ourselves, and take care of the football.
Coach, give us some numbers, both sides of the ball, to look for the line.
Well, number 8, their middle linebacker, he's a good one. He's probably as good as we've seen. He's a lot like Sequatchie's number 45 at middle linebacker. We've got to get a block on him. Their number 7's their quarterback. 2's he's their leading rusher. He's at 1,600 yards on the year. You talked about he was Mr. Football candidate. Number 5's their speed receiver, and then 10's kind of the guy they go too deep. So they've got, and as I knew they would, they've got some athletes and some speed, but we do too. So we're just going to have to go down there and keep those guys in check and I think Sequatchie, we can watch their film and see a lot of what we need to do.
Coach, this week, like last week, you got to be careful on those special teams. They can return one in a heartbeat.
Absolutely. We've got to do a better job in that. And, we talked about it Sunday in our coaches meeting. We've got to get our best 11 guys and go with it on that kickoff team and do some things different. So, We know what we need to do. We just got to make sure we're able to execute it is what the biggest thing is.
Coach, the main thing is getting that four-headed dragon rolling the right direction, right?
Absolutely.
Hey, Coach, we had a great crowd here last week. It started out a little bit slow with the rain and everything, but by the time it was over with, we had them stacked everywhere. And I know everybody's going to come down to Red Bank as well. Well,
we hope so. It's a big game. We've not been second round in a while, and I guess 09, and we our kids have really worked hard to get here, and we've been road warriors. We've not lost a game on the road yet, and hopefully we don't lose one on the road. So, but it's playoff time, and it's like you said, you got to survive to move on, and the way you survive is just play good fundamental football and take care of the football, and we've got the weapons to put some points up, and we just got to do a good solid job on the defensive side of the ball too.
But we need that 12th man.
Absolutely need the 12th man. It was a couple times during the game, and you don't see it a lot in high school, but there were a couple times during that game Friday night that our crowd was so loud they were having a lot of trouble communicating on the offense, and that's just great, and the 12th man was here Friday night, and we want them to be there this Friday night too.
Because one thing a lot of folks don't realize, this also helps your seasons to come, because you're getting these kids some extra reps that a lot of these schools have already started basketball.
Sure, you're absolutely right. Each week is another week of practice you're getting, and there's a lot of young kids that their parents are saying, well, my son's not getting to play. But every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they're running scout team, and they're running all these different offenses and defenses that these other teams run. I started as a freshman playing scout team for Coach Tipton, and me and Mark West were linebackers and ended up linebackers. So, it's just a great experience for them.
And the farther you go, the better as well.
Absolutely. It's fun to be here, but we want to prepare each week and get our guys the best chance to win a game that we can. And I felt like last week we had a great game plan. I feel like this week going in, we've got a good game plan. We've got to work hard, today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, so that we know exactly what we're doing on the field. And then our guys will go out and they're going to bust their tail, because they're just, they've done it all year. I'm not worried about that. We just got to make sure we're doing the right things and executing our game plan.
Well, Coach, I want to thank you for joining us, and best of luck heading into round 2.
Thank you, Gary.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of the Coach Derwin Wright Sports Show. Be sure to turn out Friday night. It's round 2. You got to win to stay in, so come on down to Red Bank and help support the Dragons be that 12th man. Until Friday, I'm Gary Clark. See you at the game.